Thank you and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the toughest sessions because just before lunch, but it also keeps people waiting here. and I think all of us are going to enjoy this because we've all experienced what we saw in Operation Sindoor and how a lot of less manpower and more machines and more intelligence, machine intelligence seem to have played a decisive role in that. And Dr. Panigrahi, who represents the DRDO, very senior scientist, and of course, one of the most prestigious centers that he heads, which is the Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics in Bangalore. He has some very, very interesting things. And when I spoke to him, he said, at the end of it, we probably will have no army. It'll just be AI fighting AI. Dr. Panigrahi, the stage is yours now for your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Raj, for inviting me for this conclave. I learned a lot. I was thinking what the journalist and other thing has to do with AI and robotics. I got a great insight. And journalist has the habit of making the most complex things very simple and communicate to the rest of the world. And scientists find that complexity more complex and speak in a very complex manner. I'll try to do that as quickly as possible so that you don't starve. The mind, whole of your mind is about chala chala. Mind is not chala chala. Chala achala means part of your mind is stable, part is non-stable, and your neural network is also partly stable, partly non-stable. And whole in the morning we were talking about whether AI will take away job, AI will create more job, more fear, more uncertainty, isn't it? Life is about uncertainty. So let me try to delve into the matter and say tomorrow the most difficult job of soldiers will also be taken away. So I don't say we will not require army to protect our boundary, to protect our sovereignty and to protect our country. But yes, we are leading to a robotic-centered autonomous systems which will be leading to army of none. Army of whom? Army of none. Whether it's Indian army, adversarial army, whether it's the army of none. And all of you will, I can tell you very interestingly, if you maintain your achala part of it, the what is you say the unstable part of your brain moves up, you will find more jobs. That is for sure. Why? I will just delve into now my talk as quickly as possible so that I'll get into that. Well, where we are fighting the war. The war that we are fighting, earlier was on land. Now it is in land and in sea. Most of the part of the sea, sometimes we are not, not able to see land and sea. Not only land and sea, some part in near air. Not only that, far space. We are fighting war with far space also. So the domain of warfare is constantly evolving, revolving and changing. Land, maritime domain, space, near space. And there are some invisible things. We have created the world of cyberspace. They can attack from any part of the world. And there are invisible electromagnetic space. Okay, we are all inside a electromagnetic space also. And EM space can cause havoc and destruction. Therefore, there is a constant revolution in military affairs. And from monolithic, geographically contained war, it has increased land, sea, air, space, deep space, and electronics warfare. So is that I try to depict it. Okay? And therefore, the objective of war also has undergone a change. Objective of war earlier was to have a dominance over the enemy's land, take possession of that land, take possession of the asset of the adversaries. isn't it? And you have a definite objective on which you are fighting. That yes, I have to defeat and take and dominate that. Isn't it expansed? Now you don't find that. The objective of war has already gone to power, gone to economics, gone to... So again, it is affecting all of our brain. So what is going right now, many of our speakers earlier also told, is about cognitive warfare. So it is impacting the cognition of human being. Therefore, is this warfare. You can just see, down is what we see the land part of it, down is the sea part of it, maritime part of it. Sometimes we see, sometimes we do. It is heterogeneous. It is highly heterogeneous warfare. It is highly heterogeneous. So we cannot have tomorrow a job saying, I am only a computer science guy and I want a job. So particular to the student, you have to be, you can see the expert, those who spoke. A doctor spoke about robotics, about economics. He's multi-domain expert. He's not a single domain expert. Another gentleman spoke about industry, economy, AI. So therefore, even for a scientist or for a common expert, tomorrow you have to become a very multi-domain expert. Expert in you should be able to quickly make use of that resonant part of your brain to adapt to that. That is where the expertise comes. And the word robot came from Czech word robota. Means you want to give away the routine part of your life. Okay? All your activity in your life is a two type. One is routine and reoccurring. Another is non-reoccurring. You see, you must be feeling hungry. How amount of talk will not satisfy your hunger. You have to go, have some good food and come back. And this will again reoccur after 4 hours. Therefore, hunger is a problem which is inside you. But how about you do some great amount of prayer also, it will not satisfy. The solution remains outside you. And it reoccurs. Isn't it? But if I say a plus b whole square, every one of you will tell yes, fine. Isn't it? And you must have solved once maybe in schools. If I say 0 to pi by 2 log sin x dx, how many of you can tell? Yes? Minus ln 2. You have to get into IIT means you have to know that. But you solved once this puzzle, this problem. The problem was outside. A plus b whole square was not inside you. But once you solved, it remains in you forever. This is non-recurring problem. So non-recurring problem are known as innovations. So you have to put yourself, recurring problem always will remain there. Hunger, pain, and all things will remain same. So you do not have to concentrate much of your time in the recurring problem. You have to pass it out. And that is what exactly the whole world wanted to do. The thing came is robot. We want to give all mundane external problems, which is not within us, to outsource it to a machine. That is a robot. Whereas the expertise remain within us. So robot is a self-assisted and which can work automatically or through pay also. You have to pay and get the work done. That is how the robot has started. Human started robot basically to outsource its reoccurring problems and keeping innovation within us. But having said that, we have to co-work with the robot. A doctor has to co-work with the robot, isn't it? A human has to co-work. Each time we come, a lift is also a robot. We are co-working with it. It has to work according to the defined norms, isn't it? Therefore, how do we make us so here to co-work? Now I'll come. And this is perverting in land, sea, air, space, and all the domain. That is what I want to quickly. And you all know this predator drone. God has created us 2 eyes, 2 nose, 2 ears, 2 hands, all symmetric. Why? There is some great design philosophy goes into, and God has created in such a manner that He has created a design, created specimen out of it, and has not repeated. I don't think I can find another Raj Singapore anywhere. Unique. Anywhere. Isn't it? So God doesn't repeat car. We human beings make one design and keep making car. It's a chaos. But in God's design, only one, and if 2 persons are exactly alike, one need not exist. That's what the greatness of our brain, our construction is. Therefore, but human created a drone, and multiple drones are there now with different varieties, with different functionalities, and it has put a eye, a hearing, a sense of mobility in air, and after that they found, oh, that's great, I can put weapon to it. So gun and a drone. So I can make it lethal. Lethal to a gun earlier was in the position of human being, now up. It can go and can kill anywhere. Not only that, it has put another kind of gun which will not fire exactly a bullet but can kill. So invisible thing can happen to anything and can cause catastrophic and destruction of magnitude which is very, very higher than anything else. That is a laser gun. That is a microwave gun. A coherent microwave put together can go and can point to a oil field. It can explode, causing massive destruction possible. And these are all eyes and ears. So it is all fit with all the sensors that a human has. And an extended sensor. A sensor which is extremely extended. You think we have eyes. Eyes are only functional part of the sensors. Isn't it? It's a functional part of the sensor. If somebody doesn't have an eye also, he can imagine of a human being, you know. Without eye, computing in the brain, you will not get anything. Okay, for the students, tell me, the given eye, pair of eye and ear, which is more efficient? Don't tell. Utilities, eye is good. Which is more efficient? This is a question. Eye or ear? Which is more efficient? Yes? Ear. How many told ear? Wow, good. Why ear is more efficient? Because it can operate from 20 to 20,000 hertz, a larger bandwidth than eye, which is 10 to the power minus 8 infrared to ultraviolet. Beyond that, that's why all magics are there, isn't it? So ear is more efficient than eye. But we process most of our information through our eye, isn't it? And then the drones were started operated through a local radio, through a ground operator, through internet, and through satellites. See the extension, what is happening. And they were being put together. So a swarm of drones can be put together, and swarm of drone can do thing what even the lethal of the platforms and weapon systems cannot do. You can think of F-16, the biggest flying machine, can cause destruction. But even a small investment of 100 drones with low investment can make it eliminate. Just make a wall of drones. That's all. It will come and crash and chip. And of course, you need a Abhinandan to put first generation aircraft to shoot that also. That is also possible. Because there is a great brain in it. He has to take a fraction of a second. So, what it is taking, the brain behind the machine is more extremely important. Now, a war fighting is a repetitive thing. Come whatever may be thing, war will happen. If war will happen, soldier has to again fight and soldier has to die. And we have to outsource the repetitive thing. Therefore, we have to make the machines in such a manner that now this repetitive thing has to be done more precisely and without any fail, with a profound destruction. That is all the idea is. So now these machines are being improvised for high endurance. Our endurance is maybe 24 hours, 48 hours, high endurance. And if we operate in land, we may not operate even 1 minute down the water. Isn't it? For high endurance, both in land, under sea. And we definitely will not be able to exist alone in space. We are trying right now. So, we are trying to impart the what kind of functional things we need to put it so that these machines endure in land, sea and air for higher endurance and yet do their job. That is the version of high endurance thing come. Therefore, these machines are now put into operations. Okay? So, whatever we were not able to go and do it in other part of the side of the enemy, we can just see precisely, find, locate the adversary and can eliminate sitting here. That is one of the things. Then comes earlier you have seen a conventional gun and a drone. This is a gun which when fires you will not be able to look, but it can destroy within no time. Stable UAV, putting a microwave, high energy microwave to a complete maybe a ammunition dump or to a aircraft, it will just blast. Within few seconds, maybe it has to coherently do that. A human cannot do that. It will just have the highest destruction which a conventional, probably a armed personnel will fail to do. Then comes the water. Now about 100 of such high endurance underwater vehicles are being deployed in Indian oceans to surveillance us, to look at. And by the time if you go underwater, somebody say, hi, I am there, but nobody is there. No human is operating it. See the amount of tension to the human operator. So you have to coexist and efficiently operate. A human operator having same cognition has to operate with a complete robot. And not a robot, a high endurance robot, and having some amount of intelligence. You know, robot came 1920. AI has not been done. Someday, like people like students, teachers and all things were sitting together, a workshop like this, sometimes throw something very that we have to study. In 1950, they said in Dartmouth College, the mathematicians, the physicists, the psychology people put together, like here politicians, the journalists, the probably students, everybody putting together. They had a summer school. Because in UK and all things, in winter they cannot think. Mind also goes to hibernation. So they made a summer school. In the summer school, McCarthy, one of the mathematicians, coined the word artificial intelligence. Means intelligence will become artificial. I never knew why he coined that. We have to cram it right now. I was the first generation AI student. I have to read that. Then come 1956, the Arthur Samuel, he came with the word known as machine intelligence and machine learning. Means I am not reading nowadays. You have to teach a machine. So any word out of this kind of heterogeneous congregation becomes a subject later on. And thereafter, so first the robots will come, then comes this AI. Whether it is a problem for a solution or a solution to be fit into a problem, we started robotics as an engine for AI. To validate our AI algorithm, robot is a vehicle. That is how we started. Now they are becoming more and more powerful. So is the things. A high endurance underwater vehicle. Now frigates are there with human being inside. Now they can work inside deep sea for months to come and can work at will. Okay. Okay, they also has all the sensors, all the vision, hearing, everything. Because radio waves and GPS doesn't go inside. You know, all of us, if GPS is crippled down, half of our work will be stopped. If power goes, half our work goes up. How we are so dependent, and they have to work autonomously without that. So they become all autonomous systems. Robots, which were electromechanical in nature, now with intelligence, are autonomous. They decide what they will want to do. They decide what they want to do like human being. Okay? I am giving a talk with PPT, fine. I must have prepared it for 10 times, so I know that thing. I am working the subject. But Raj comes and almost beautiful questions he is asking. Wow. For me to answer that, it is extremely difficult, you know. I have to invent to answer those questions. That is a real-time business. Now these machines do that thing. ChatGPT is doing that. You put a question, it is answering. But that doesn't mean that it's more intelligent than human being. I'll ask one question all to the students, not to the first year. Tell me 2 lines which are parallel to each other. You all have studied geometry. Geometry you all know. 2 lines which are parallel to each other. Will they intersect or not? How many of you say yes with me? Please raise your hand. Lost. I lost with 0 votes. Tell me, I will say sum of 3 angles of a triangle can be greater than 180 degrees. How many of you will agree? Please raise your hand. 1 person. Guy, you are looking into Google? Only 1 person. 1 vote I lost again. Deposit gone. 2 lines which are not parallel to each other. They will intersect. They may not intersect. 2 lines which are not parallel to each other. They may not intersect. How many of you will agree? Simple questions. Good, good. Thank you. At least 5 to 6 hands has raised. All that I told is true. There is no board. I can prove it right now. Lines which are not parallel to each other, they don't intersect. Do they intersect? No. Similarly, I can prove sum of 3 angles of a triangle can be greater than 180 degrees, less than 100 degrees. Google cannot tell you right now. It has to violate the 5th postulate of... So they are all rule-based systems. They learn. The moment I teach this, they will tell you a good answer. Parallel lines, meridians are parallel at equator, meet at pole, not at infinity, meet at pole within our earth. Parallel lines can intersect. Therefore, these are not conventional things. So now robots is trying to imbibe that non-conventional thing which human cannot imagine. ChatGPT is trying to imbibe those non-conventional things, is trying to become intelligent. But still, you have an edge to activate that non-repeating part of your brain to innovate. Thereafter, these machines put together in the sea can make a scenario which can kill. The machine, the space vehicles, the satellites is autonomous vehicle. The frigates are the underwater vehicle, the autonomous vehicle. Surface vehicle also can be autonomous. They can put in a network and work. Network has more advantage. It multiplies the forces. The platforms, sensors, everything they multiply and can annihilate everything. 5 people, it's same principle. 5 giants can out, isn't it? So that's how it's happening. And you can see now, if drone is a threat to human being, autonomously killing us, we should know having a countermeasure for the drone. I'll quickly finish it right now. Countermeasures, and that is what is countermeasure for the drones. Another 1 minute. Then the counter drones, now they have made Iron Dome. India is also trying to make an Iron Dome. It is not a visible dome, of course. It can protect us from any 24/7 protection from the threats of autonomous systems. Because if you know your enemy, you have to know it before. That's all. You have to know the intention. Now they can know the intention. This is what a land vehicle it started with. We thought we'll make a robot in college and all things. Good, it should work. It should have a way to obey me. And I should be able to control and communicate both. Now think the robot. And in fact, a tank is a robot right now. A tank is a robot with 90 rounds of fire. It can identify the enemy. It can classify the thing, say whether friend or foe or neutral, and can eliminate in one shot. Eliminate in one shot. That means we have put a brain into these machines. We have put right now whatever earlier they were doing mechanically and electromechanically, now we have put, you can see a brain down, and brain with multiple domain has been put. Multiple domain to recognize the enemy, to classify the enemy, and to aim and annihilate the enemy. And after that you say whether I have annihilated or not, because people often ask whether that particular missile has effectively worked or not. People are asking sometimes the question whether the weapon has effectively delivered or not. Isn't it? Many social media have think, hua ya nahi hua, performed or not. It can exactly decide whether the enemy is annihilated, completely kill, or only mobility kill, or I have to again fire a round. That is what the machine can do. So this has been deployed. Therefore, it is under control of what? So now whatever a normal electromechanical robot, which was being operated by a human, become now a thinking machine. And now not only thinking machine, is a cognitive machine. It is an autonomous, cognitively enabled autonomous machine to work. These are all the sensors which looks into the adversary and does these things. This is under water vehicle. And as you know, we have many cycles in our body. All are repetitive. Hunger, sleep. Similarly, it should sense, locate, where am I, what am I, who is my enemy, what is my enemy, what time it will attack me, I'll attack you. That is what the cycles it is doing. And it is doing through many cycles. It is doing, there is no human being in it. No human being. 360 it can fire and can cause devastating effect on the enemy. If 100 such and one commander deploy in 100 such, enemy is gone. Now if the commander say, I will go off. Now whose enemy it is? Whose army it is? It's army of autonomous weapon systems engaged with maybe another. Therefore I say it is army of none. In fact, there is a book known as Army of None. Because I just gave the command, I left. It caused devastation. That's all. And it thought of its own also. So earlier command control was with the commander and machine was obeying. Now he gave the command control thinking and said, this is the task, please do it. And they do in a network fashion. Therefore, if you think of such a situation, whether the object moving, what it is moving, how it is moving, camouflage, enemy or not, what is the intention, can I engage in it? All that it can do. And this is not a soldier, human soldier. This is a humanoid soldier. And it can even fire at the back. The machine that is having, it is not only straight shoot, it can have a back shoot also. If somebody is attacking from back, it can kill with equal lethality than one in the front also. And of course, there are so many, even cyber, crawlers, all students must be doing crawlers. Crawler is a robot. You can crawl tropically. You say, today you please see use of robotics in surgery. Crawl all the documents in the world. You put it in the net, it will give you the best of the materials, crawling and grading and give it to your thing within 1-2 hours. That is also a robot. So many robots has been put in our cyberspace. And this is a normal, conventional warfare, and this is how the warfare of tomorrow will be. leading to army of none. And this, I wrote a book long back about brain-computer interface. Why I told there are a lot of egg-headed personalities before. These heads are very interesting heads. You can just put the EEG systems onto their brain and you can predict what they're thinking. And we all are not using even 10% of your brain, mind you. Brain is, there are 18 billion neurons interconnected. There's so many structures deep inside, it's not working. We are never exercising phenomenal capacity. How do you think AI can, surpass you? If you put all them together, you will be one of the wonderful things. And even there are problems which are there, like whether there will a tremor happen or not, when it will happen, earthquake at a place, is it solved? No. Similarly, so many doctors are there. You know a person is epileptic. Will he fall down without a seizure? Can they predict at what time it will happen? No. Similarly, lots of problems are there which is not being solved. And that non-regulated part of your brain will solve these problems. So, this is a time to come which will happen this, and you can predict in an iota of time before, yes, there can be an earthquake at this part of the earth, or there can be this person can have a seizure, better don't go out. And those kind of things can happen. And therefore, this is how I saw land, sea, and air. A book I put long back. And recent book last month, you can search in Google, Principles of Designing Autonomous Systems, AUV, UAV, and High Endurance Underwater Vehicle. It's just by UK Press CRC which has come. And thank you, Raj, for giving me this opportunity to speak to you all.